Examination essays. John and Mark are standing by a wall. A few hundred yards away, along the wall, is an open door that freely allows people to go through the wall. John and Mark receive orders that they have to go through the wall. Very quickly, John runs as fast as he can at the wall. However, Mark walks along the wall to where the door is open and he easily goes through it. The point of this story is that quickest is not always the best, and sometimes just a little time spent in planning at the beginning can make something easier in the long term. When writing an examination essay, it may be your natural impulse to immediately start writing as soon as possible. However, as we shall see, there are advantages in the long term to spending a little time before you start writing in planning and making some rough notes. What is the purpose of an exam essay? The purpose of an examination essay is to test the writer's knowledge of a subject and the ability to successfully communicate that knowledge in a timed context. An examination essay is not simply a grammar test. Influences on performance. There are many different influences that can affect performances in a written exam. However, I would just like to focus on one of those influences here. Going into an exam fully alert and awake is the best frame of mind to have. Therefore, I would suggest that the night before an exam, it is better to relax and get a good night's sleep than to stay up all night revising. If you do not know something the night before an exam, it is too late to do anything about it. The night before the exam, try to relieve your stress, try to relax and unwind. Before you start writing, read through the examination paper. Try to calmly read through the whole of the exam paper so that you can clearly see all that is required of you and so get an overview of the exam as a whole. Remember to allow time for this. Plan your time. How you plan your time depends on how much time you have, how many essays you have to write, and the number of marks that you get for each essay. Remember when planning your time to allow for reading through the exam sheet and planning your essay. Also try to plan for leaving time at the end of your writing to check through the work that you have done. The amount of time that you spend writing each essay should be in relation to the total possible score for that essay. For example, the total time for the exam is 2 hours, 120 minutes. Essay 1 has a total possible marks of 30, Essay 2 has a total possible marks of 30, Essay 3 has a total possible marks of 20, Essay 4 has total possible marks of 20. Therefore, there are a total possible marks of 100. Therefore, Essay 1 offers 30 out of a total possible mark of 100. So it offers 30% of the total mark, and so 30% of the total time should be spent on it. Therefore, the division of the writing time should look like this. Essay 1 should take 30% of the writing time. Essay 2 should take 30% of the writing time. Essay 3 should take 20% of the writing time. Essay 4 should take 20% of the writing time. Remember that we are talking about writing time and total time. You still have to allow for reading the exam paper, planning your essays, and the time for reviewing your work at the end. How much time you allow for this will depend on the individual and the total length of the exam. Here is a possible breakdown of time for the example that we've been looking at. Planning 10 minutes, Essay 1 30 minutes, Essay 2 30 minutes, Essay 3 20 minutes, Essay 4 20 minutes, review time 10 minutes. This gives us a total time of 120 minutes. Try to stick to the time plan that you have set out, but remember that you do not have to be obsessive about it. Plan your answer. While you may feel an urge to immediately start writing as soon as you are able, there are advantages to spending time in planning what you are going to write by means of an essay plan for each essay that you have to write. At the beginning of the exam, you're going to be fresh and alert, so this is the best time for you to think of ideas and the best time to set out and present them. If there is a problem in an essay, for example, you have missed out a key point, this will be the easiest way to see it and the best time to correct it. In the example used above, it is going to be easier to think of what to say in Essay 4 at the beginning of the exam rather than after you've been writing for 90 minutes. Due to lack of time or pressure that you feel to start writing, you might find it beneficial to write a simple word outline rather than a sentence outline. Remember, however, to write your essay outlines in a way that will be understandable to you later on when you are tired and fatigued from writing. Remember that spending a little time in the planning stage at the beginning of your exam can reap you big rewards in the end. Writing your essay. Once you've decided how to tackle your essay and you have planned what you are going to say, the next stage is to write it. You do not have a lot of time, so try to avoid anything unnecessary, concentrating on essential information presented in a simple and straightforward manner. Remember to present your thesis statement near the beginning of your essay so that both you and the examiner know what position you are defending or explaining. If you do not have a lot of time to write an essay, you may find that you have to present your thesis statement in the first sentence. You may decide to utilize keywords from the essay title, but try not to needlessly restate the essay title, as this will take time and will get you no marks. Remember that redundancy is time-consuming and literally pointless. After you've finished writing, if you are still writing as the examiner tells you that your time is up, it could be that you've mistimed your exam, as it is always wise to leave time to review your writing. The purpose of reviewing your writing is twofold. Firstly, to proofread for surface errors, such as grammar and spelling, and secondly, to look for organisational errors, such as the way that the thesis statement covers all of the points made and the way that different points are developed.